Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Isaac. I am so excited for this video because today I'm going to be installing my brand new Marzocchi Bomber Z2 suspension fork. Marzocchi are owned by Fox, so it's pretty similar except it's just a bit more simple. There's not as many controls and dials and stuff, and it's a lot cheaper as well. One other thing, I do have an announcement at the end of the video. I do have some exciting news that I want you guys to hear at the end of this video. So if you want to hear that, make sure you stick around till the end of the video and I'll let you know there. Right, to make this easier for me and more exciting for me, I'm just going to be heading up to Ethan's place. You may know him from a few previous videos, so I'll head up to his place. Reese will be there as well. You may also know him from a few previous videos. So we're just going to head up and install the fork, and then we'll come back here and set it up and give it a test. Here we go.
Oh, bro.
Fork it sound.
Oh, yes, man.
Oh! It's so annoying when you get the far out, mate. She's gone. No, I'm kidding. That would be
Will you be giving me yours?
good.
Starting up is in.
Holy smokes!
It does.
Oh, perfect.
Starting up business.
Alright everybody, the fork is installed and it looks absolutely sweet. So we had to just run down to the bike shop quick and grab a little kit that pulls the caliper out further away from the rotor, because it would rub against it and it would just make it not work, obviously. But no, it's all finished now and it looks super good. But I'm just going to head back to my place and ride some trails, and let's give this fork a test. Alrighty, so I'm back at my place in my workshop, and I'm not going to test it yet because I'm going to set my fork up for me, so sag and like rebound and that kind of thing, to just make the fork feel as best as it can for me. So this fork is a 150mm travel fork, and I like a plush fork, so that means I'm going to go with 30mm. I'm going to go with 30mm sag. So that means just when I'm just sitting on the bike as I normally would, there will be 30mm that is already compressed without me doing anything. So I'm just going to quickly set the air pressure to that so that happens. Okay, so right now we're on about 75 psi, and I'm just going to put that, going to try that, putting it down to 60 we'll start with. And then I'm just going to put the O-ring down to the bottom. And then I'm just going to hop on the bike, stand on it as I normally would when I'm riding, maybe like chuck a backwards crank in, and then hop off. That is 30mm from the bottom, so my sag is all set up. So I'm just going to quickly explain what a volume spacer actually does. So if you put a volume spacer in your fork will become more progressive, and that means as you compress the suspension and use up the travel, it will get harder to compress. So that'll just prevent bottoming out on big drops if you have a lower pressure in your suspension. So that's pretty much it, and I'm just going to go ahead and add one or two of these to my fork. Okay, so I know I just set up the pressure of the fork But to add volume spaces, you're going to need to let all the air out of your fork, because else it can explode because you're like going into the fork. But I know the PSI, I put it 60 PSI in, and that set the sag right, so just make sure you remember that before you let all the air out of your fork. So I'm just going to go ahead, take the cap off, and then just grab something pointy and just let all the air out, and you can see that all the air is gone. And I'm just going to compress it and let any last bits of air out. So now all the air is out of this fork. Before you take this cap off, you want to grab a nice clean rag and just get rid of any muck or grime that might be nearby, so that that then can't go into the fork. And now I'm just going to go ahead and crack this loose. Wow, it's pretty tight. Alrighty. I think I cracked it. Alrighty, let's just slowly take this off. Alright, it's getting easier. That's good. Oh, so just a little bit of air came out. Okay, so now I've taken the cap off, and all I'm going to do now is slide an air volume spacer onto that, and then just simply pop that back in and tighten it back up again. It's as simple as that. And then pump it up to the 60 PSI that I had in there originally. After I put the volume spacer in, I'm just gonna, just out of my curiosity, because I've never done this before, I'm just going to hop on the bike and see if the sag is the same. And it's the same. Now, I'm gonna go give this bike a test and see how this fork feels.
Feels smooth.
Alrighty guys, I just got back from riding. I'm muddy, my bike's muddy. It was still super fun though. The fork performed so well. It is such a big step up from my old fork. Felt so good. I absolutely love the ride. I'm gonna have to get much more used to jumping with this fork, because it just feels so different when you go up the transition lip. So I'm gonna have to get used to that, but on the drops, on the rock gardens, it just felt so good, and I absolutely love it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. One other thing, I do have an announcement at the end of the video. I do have some exciting news that I want you guys to hear at the end. And now it's the end of the video, so I'm going to tell you. So I've decided that if I reach 100 subscribers 3 months from now, when I post this video, if I reach 100 subscribers 3 months from now, I'm going to be posting a video of the first time I went riding. So me and a couple friends, we built a little trail, we rode the trail on our first mountain bikes. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe, so I reach 100 subscribers 3 months from now. If I don't reach 100 subscribers, I just won't post a video, and oh well. But here's a little snippet of what we looked like at the time. I for one think we looked pretty young. It was a few years ago. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.